Morning. So, is God real? That's the question that most of us have. And there is a question that I also had, which God answered in the year 2016. Now, for those who don't know, I actually did my grade 11 in 2016. That's when I did my grade 11. And then in the year 2015, that's when I started attending church here, out of my own free will, and not because my mom was forcing me to go to church. Because before I wasn't about church, and she used to force me to go to church. So that's literally what happened. And the reason why I used to fight is because I had the craziest, dumbest ideas about church at that time. And then in my grade 10 year, so I decided that I was going to take biology, which is life science. Now, I don't know how I did that. When I took biology, I thought I was taking physics. Yeah. And then when I ended up there, I figured that, I actually took the wrong subject, which, was very funny. And then I spent my whole life in 2015 focused on, basically athletics, school, and church. But church was like the last thing on my list because my main focus was on athletics because I was good, and then obviously passing school because, my parents were on my case. So I was like, okay, let me pass school so that they can leave me alone. So, that was me right there. And then in my early 2016 year, going into biology, realizing that it's the wrong subject, we started getting taught about creation itself, looking at how nothing came, like everything that we have came from nothing. And then they went further on to teach us about natural selection and looking at evolution and everything, which messed up my idea of church a bit because I wasn't fully focused on church. And I found myself in situations where I'm on YouTube looking for videos that explain all of these things that I learned at school. So I found myself in that position. And one thing that I also loved besides galaxies and space and all those stuff was music. And in the music industry, I was exposed to stuff like the Illuminati industry, and then I got exposed to Satan and how he runs all of those things. Now, I wasn't focused on anything spiritual at that point, but because I was exposed to how Satan runs everything, I wanted to know, how does he run everything? Because, like we're in the physical, and this doesn't make sense to me. So I went on, obviously, to research and watch videos and all those stuff. And something that was interesting is when I looked at that time, the direction that I was going, I actually had no direction. I was confused. Whatever they threw at me, I went that direction. So I took it. And later on, in my 2016 year, we went on to learning about the human body, the DNA, RNA, how it functions and everything. And then we touched on an area where they taught us about a cell called laminin. Now, I actually got a picture of the cell itself, and you should be seeing it on the screen. And that cell right there, if you go and actually study what the function of that cell is, that's actually the cell that is required for your whole body to be held together. So it's actually at the core of every cell that holds your whole body together. Without that cell, you basically won't be alive. So that's literally what we got taught. And you'll obviously with that cell, you'll have things like diseases, things going wrong in the body. And after seeing that, and then getting taught, here at church, that everything revolves around Christ, and understanding that that cell, is actually what holds everything together, and learning what the Bible says about Christ and how he's actually the one that holds everything together. That's when I realized God is actually real. And if we actually had to go down to everything, in life, everything should actually point you back to Christ, because God is the one that created everything. And that's how God actually became real to me. Then I realized that science is actually catching up to the Bible. Science is actually proving the Bible right. That's how God became real to me.